Hi everyone, this is my Yamaha TY175. I've got a couple of these bikes, but this is the one that I ride the most, and it's the one I've worked on the most, and the one I've owned the longest, in different forms a little bit, but I'll just walk around and talk a little bit about what I've done to it. The bike's mostly stock, motor-wise. I've got a nice stainless steel header and one-piece mid-rear section. I kind of had to get this exhaust because the frame has been chopped in the back and I had nowhere to put a hanger. It would end up somewhere here. Plus it sounds good and I think adds a bit of power. On the intake side, it is almost all original. I've just got the intake off an RD350, which flows in more of a straight line, and potentially I could add a boost bottle at some point in the future. Right now I've just got it plugged off. Eventually I'll be fitting DT175 reeds, in a reed cage, which is quite a bit larger and doesn't quite fit into the TY175 inlet port, but I'll just open it up a little bit and maybe do a little bit of porting on the transfer ports at the same time for my next cylinder that I'll be putting on the bike probably next winter. In terms of the frame, like I said, it's cut in the back. I made these brackets and gave myself a few positions for the shock mounting, but I seem to always leave it here for the extra travel and progressiveness. This resulted in really increased chain angle across the swing arm, so I've had to make sliders to replace the rubber piece that the Yamahas usually have. And it's getting pretty worn out now, so I'll probably have to make a new one, but at least it lasted me a full season. I really gotta oil my chain. I've just got cheap eBay foot pegs, but they're about 1,000 times better than stock, so it does the job. And a nice alloy shifter, nice and high to stay out of the way of everything. The rear fender is a YZ250 fender. I really wanted a more modern look, and took a little bit of modifying on the frame. I had to make some tabs to hold on the bottom, and obviously chop the back. But I think the outcome is quite good. I think it looks good, and it makes a bit of extra room for the suspension because it actually comes up higher now because I've got the shocks laid down enough. The seat is just a small foam piece, and actually it's a cover off of a DRZ that I just cut and sewed. It's not perfect, but you don't sit on it too much. Up front, the forks were TY250 forks, and then I decided to upgrade the brake for a YZ250 twin leading shoe drum brake, which meant that I needed lower fork legs that have this engagement tab on them. Now luckily I had a scrap DT250 and the legs have that engagement, and they also fit TY stanchions. So I've got TY stanchions and valving in DT legs with YZ brakes, and they are exceptionally strong brakes. I can stoppie as long as I have grip for the front tire. For trials, they're actually a bit too grabby, but it's a nice party trick to be able to do stoppies when most other guys can't even lock up the tire on these old bikes. And then I made a nice stainless fender bracket because the DT mounts, well, it's not meant to have a fender mounted there. The DT would have had a high fender, but I just made this kind of offset bracket and a nice aftermarket front fender that looks pretty clean. The light is from a slightly later TY, like early 80s probably, and I don't have it hooked up right now. I just find it really finishes off the look. Cheap eBay risers to get the bars up and further away a bit to open up the cockpit, and hand guards because I often go bashing through the woods. That's about all I've got to say about it, so let's go ride.